There's a fragile beauty in existing within a world that decides who fits its frame.
Back in the 70s and the 80s, Boston was a real community. You know, everybody looked out for everybody. Miss Johnson, Miss Jenkins, Miss Chan, Miss Lopez, all looked out for each other's kids. If you needed something, all you had to do was ask.
The Boston they never showed you.
Cape Verdeans and Dominicans and Haitians, so many beautiful Haitians, Guyanese, we litter Jamaican, Trini, everybody.
There's just so much more than what you see. And that we have, this incredible Vietnamese community in Dorchester. We have an incredible Irish community in South Boston. We have the Italian community in the North End. We have Hispanic and Latino communities in East Boston.
The Boston that built jazz, innovation, civil rights.
I grew up in the South End, Lower Roxbury at a great time. It was Mass Ave between Tremont and Columbus. Directly across the street from me was Ella Little Collins. She lived in an apartment directly across. The end of my block was the NAACP building when it was still active. Directly across the street from that was the Harriet Tubman Community Center. So that pretty much gave me a foundation.
Boston is very Black, it's very beautiful, it's very radical.
South End is where I came of age. I mean, it was rough back then. If folks remember the South End back in those days, like you get hemmed up easy. We used to always go to Wally's. That was the jazz spot.
For far too long, the stories of Black and brown communities have been left untold, overlooked, or erased. But history cannot be rewritten.
One of the stories that we're going to tell is the anniversary of the 1965 Freedom Rally.
To all of the freedom-loving people of the great city of Boston and the state of Massachusetts.
It was the largest civil rights rally from Carter Field, which is right by where Northeastern is, near Ruggles. 20,000 people marched through the South End to Boston Common, to the Parkman Bandstand, to advocate and to fight and to acknowledge and to raise hell for housing, poverty, education, and racial equity.
Pretty much when people think of Boston, they think of B-roll between 1974, 75, 76, 77, 78. They think of Ted Landsmark getting lanced and hostile white folks yelling at Black children, people throwing rocks, signs saying go back to Africa when kids are being bussed in just trying to get an education. It's important for us to give the full picture of what Boston is.
I never knock people for leaving home. I would encourage people to dig harder to find the things we haven't seen yet.
The Boston where my grandmother's cafe was the heartbeat of a community. The Boston erased from textbooks.
It's about this tension between sort of what the media shows of Boston and what really exists is really about what we're revealing. It's a city of colleges, it's a city of sports teams, it's a city of immigrants, it's a city of artists, makers and creatives and scientists, innovators.
From the streets of Roxbury to the halls of the State House, from our churches to our community centers, our voices echo through time. Our contributions are undeniable.
You think of Harlem when you think of Black excellence or Black culture. Boston needed a better PR agent. The place where all these Harlem musicians and Harlem creatives had to leave and flee New York because they didn't have what was called the cabaret cards to perform in the nightclubs. They, en masse, hopped on the train, got off at Back Bay Station, and were in the South End, Lower Roxbury, all along Columbus, Mass Ave, Tremont, and the side streets. We don't tell those stories.
How do we celebrate the truths that have gone untold? Because one of the biggest offenses to me as a non-Boston Bostonian is when my friends who live other places will look at me and say, why would you move to Boston? It's so white.
I've had people tell me my entire life, everybody hates Boston, and they'll tell me about my city from thousands of miles away, from hundreds of miles away, telling a third-hand story about what happened when their uncle visited in 1981. I can tell you what Boston is like now.
You know, when we talk about double consciousness in the veil and how we see ourselves versus how the world sees us, which is what Du Bois talked about all the time. I think that's what I like about reveal. You know, reveal is like, what are the parts we want people to see? And, you know, I want people who don't live in South End, Roxbury, Dorchester, Hyde Park, Mattapan, Brockton to go to Slade's to get the okra, fried hard, extra sazon. Well, I want them to go to the Mix. Wherever Amanda Shea is, be there. Go to Just Bookish, go to Frugal. Other gems that people need to be aware of are Artists for Humanity, Shagun Idowu, Jessica Pierre. The number of people here that are dedicated to loving on us and seeing us as seeing each other is pretty impressive.
As America prepares to mark its 250th year, we choose to tell a different story. One that honors the past, acknowledges the present, and builds toward an equitable future.
We need more Black millionaires, right? We know that Black millionaires, brown and Black business owners hire brown and Black people. We need affordable, sustainable housing. Starter housing is important, right? People have to start somewhere. And so that's what the campaign is attempting to do, is to reveal stories to folks who don't know it and to reveal truths to ourselves.
You got to come home. You got to see the people. You got to be in community.
I think it's more important than ever that something like E250 happen.
This is our history.
This is our moment.
This is
Everyone
Everyone
250.
250.